Adaora rushed into the house, foaming with anger. Her face was red, and her school bag slapped against the couch as she stomped into the living room. Mommy, she shouted, you won't believe what happened today. Her mother, Ifeoma, looked up from a magazine, surprised. What is it, Adaora? It is Amaka, Chioma's daughter. She is now in my school. Our school, the best school in the city. How can a maid daughter afford it? Is Chioma stealing from us? Ifeoma blinked. That is impossible, she muttered. Then she stood and called Chioma. Chioma came in quickly, drying her hands on her apron, confused and nervous. Yes, ma. How is it possible that your daughter is now schooling in Blackwood Academy? Ifeoma asked sharply. Chioma took a deep breath. Madam, it is not me. Someone sponsored Amaka a full scholarship. They chose her from a list of students in our area. Who Adaora demanded. They didn't say. The sponsor chose to stay unknown. The school confirmed it. That is nonsense, Ifeoma snapped. If someone is helping you, I deserve to know. My house, my rules. Chioma lowered her eyes. I promise, I don't know who it is. But Amaka was chosen for a reason. She is brilliant. Ifeoma hissed. We will see about that, Ifeoma said. From that day on, Amaka's life at Blackwood Academy was miserable. Adaora and her friends mocked her one shoe, her homemade lunch, and even her quiet manners. They laughed at her during assembly. But Amaka kept her head down. She studied hard, read during lunch, and helped other students understand tough subjects. Sometimes, the very same students who laughed at her. Then came the big announcement. Blackwood Academy was hosting its first ever international genius talent search. A school-wide academic competition. The winner who would represent the school at the national level wins 5 million cash prize, a laptop, and a scholarship to any university in the world. Excitement buzzing through the school. Adaora smirked. I already won. She bragged. But when the list of the qualifiers came out, Amaka's name was there, in top 5. Adaora's jaw dropped. Adaora and her friends made the plan. They linked fake questions to Amaka and told her that they were the real topic. Then, on the day of the first quiz, they reported her for cheating. Amaka was called into the principal's office. Amaka, we have been told that you received the questions earlier. Do you have anything to say about this? I didn't cheat, she said calmly. I studied everything in the curriculum. I was given some questions by other students, but I had no idea they weren't real. Principal Johnson signed, you will still write the quiz, but under supervision. And she did, and she passed. In fact, she had the highest score in the entire school. Adaora's pride was cracking. A maid daughter was taking a spotlight. As the competition progressed, the national organizers arrived at the school for a surprise talent segment. Each finalist they announced must showcase a hidden skill or passion, something not academic. Adaora danced, but Amaka, she stepped forward with a quiet confidence and pulled out a painting of a beautiful girl. Gasps filled the room. The lead judge blinked in disbelief. Where did you learn to paint like this? He asked. Amaka said softly, I have never had toys when growing up, so I drew. It is how I taught myself. The judge pulled out his phone and made a call. Minutes later, a woman from a top international art foundation arrived. We have been looking for this child, she said. Amaka submitted art to our online contest 2 years ago. Out of 12,000 entries, hers was number one, but we couldn't reach her. The contact email attached to our application was not reachable. The entire hall froze. She is gifted, and we want to sponsor her education anywhere she wants to go. Chioma burst into tears. In the back row, Adaora couldn't speak. Ifeoma sat froze, ashamed. Back at home, the atmosphere was no longer the same. Chioma entered the house quietly that evening, exhausted but glowing with pride after Amaka's big win at school. But as she dropped her bag and made her way to the kitchen, she could feel it, a strange silence in the air. an energy she couldn't name. From the living room, Ifeoma sat stiffly at the couch, watching the evening news. And there was it. Amaka face on the TV, the young girl from Blackwood Academy who is painting her way into the heart across Nigeria. Chioma smiled softly, wiping her hands with her apron. That is my daughter, she whispered proudly. Ifeoma turned. Your daughter. Her voice was sharp. Your daughter, who is suddenly on TV, while my own daughter walks around sad. Chioma flinched. Spare me the humility. Talk, Chioma. Ifeoma snapped. You've been walking around acting like you are above everyone since that girl of yours won the silly competition. Chioma took a deep breath. Madam, I've always respected you. I clean your house, cook your meals, and serve your guests. I never imagined my daughter would ever get this far. It is a blessing, not pride. Blessing? Ifeoma sneered. You think I don't see how people talk now? Parents at school talk about you, call you Madam Hattie's mother, even my friends. She stood up, her voice rising. Tell me the truth, Chioma. Who gave her that scholarship? Who paid for those art materials? How did she enter that international contest? Chioma shook her head. I told you, madam, everything she have now came from her own hands. No one gave her anything but a chance. A small chance, and she took it. Ifeoma's eyes narrowed. Her jealousy burnt into rage. Fine, but let me warn you. Don't get too comfortable in my house. Don't let all this shine confuse you. At the end of the day, you're still my maid. Chioma blinked back tears. Yes, madam, she whispered. But in her heart, something had shifted. For the first time in her life, she knew that they were no longer beneath anyone. After that tense night, Chioma stayed silent, but her mind was made up. She had spent too many years living under someone else's roof, swallowing insults to survive, but not anymore. One morning before sunrise, Chioma rose quietly, packed her bag, and left a short letter on the kitchen counter, saying, Madam Ifeoma, thank you for all these years, but my season here has ended. I have dreams too, and it's time to chase them respectfully, Chioma said. With her small savings and determined heart, Chioma rented a tiny shop near the market and started selling groceries. At first, it was tough. She had no big signboard, no fridge, and barely enough chefs. But word spread fast. That is Amaka's mother. People who admire Amaka's stories came to support her. Within a few weeks, her shop was doing well. Local teachers, school parents, and even small restaurants started buying from her. She no longer needed to clean floor for approval. She was standing on her own now. Back in Blackwood Academy, Amaka's life was changing too. A scholarship had extended thanks to the art competition. Her painting was now displayed at galleries for young artists. She had a mentor from abroad who video called her weekly, and she had friends who admired her and not mocked her. Teachers praised her not for where she came from, but for her brilliance, creativity, and strength. She still walked to school every morning, but with her head held high and her dreams even higher. And as Chioma stood one evening outside her little shop, watching her daughter returning home in her spotless uniform, a sketchbook tucked under her arm, and a smile on her face, she felt something she haven't felt in years: peace. They didn't need anyone permission to rise, they just needed the courage to live. This is the end of the story. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And to all our returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back to watch. I really appreciate your support. And if you are new here, please make sure you subscribe for more interesting story. Thank you so much for being here. See you in my next story. Bye.